Don't trip over it, guys.
Because I won't laugh, I swear. It's tape on the grill. All right, we have a full board here tonight. Any conflicts of interest on the agenda? No? All right, and then we have Jeff Preble here to help talk about our fiscal sustainability plan and rate adjustment. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, good. Good evening, everybody. So, yeah, I put a few slides and stuff together to kind of summarize the rate piece there that was in the FSP plan. So, I want to click on the next one there, Joe. So there's a couple things I wanted to kind of hit on. Some was revenue loss with the, not spreading percentages stuff there anymore. Looking at how we can, a couple scenarios in terms of user rate adjustments. Also looking at the connection fees, and then also talking about schedule and timing and how we may want to try to accomplish that. So if you guys have questions and stuff as we run through, just jump in and glad to discuss it. So the revenue challenges there, like such as saying with PFAS and that sort of stuff, kind of cut out a big chunk of revenue there. Plus you got additional testing that's been done for the PFAS, so there's like a net loss of almost 40,000 there per year. So the current rates that we have, it's like average user rate of $511. You try to take that 40,000, spread that over all the users on the system. It's about $80 per user, which would increase rates up to almost $600 per year, which is almost 16%. Sometimes you get into rating that kind of a steep increase and stuff, people tend to get nervous and that sort of thing. So we put together a couple of scenarios and stuff to look at, if you want to try to adjust that over time or do a portion at a time or something along that line. We did put a little graph together kind of showing where Rangeley compares to other communities. So Rangeley currently, it shows up here in this column, and this would be what proposed would be at almost $600. You can see some are higher, some are lower, but it's kind of fall right in the middle there pretty much. Squeeze on to the next one there. So here's a couple different scenarios to take a look at. If you just typically what you like to see is something around 3% per year on average, just to kind of cover, cost of inflation and salaries and all that type of thing. I don't think rates been touched in a long, long time here on the sewer portion. So if you do it with a 3% increase, your current fiscal year here for 24-25, you start out at 511, then ramps up to 526 there in 25, and then 542 and 26. If you jumped and did the whole increase starting up here in 25 and then did your 3%, so you'd end up with almost 591 there for the next coming fiscal year, and that would jump up to almost 609 and then up to 627 there in 26. So the other one is stuck in here. Let's take a look and see if you do that, half of the time. Do an 8%. Coming up here in 25, and another 8% in the 25 fiscal year, and then go up 3% per year from that. So that's the last row there. So end up jumping from 511 to 552 essentially, and then you get 596 and 25, and then from there. The other piece we were looking at is the connection fees. And it's like $180 per bedroom currently, so your average 3-bedroom home is around 520, which is pretty low compared to some of the other communities. So that may be something that you want to take a look at as well, is maybe bumping that up to be more in line with what some of the other communities are doing. We went to say, $750 per bedroom, that gets you up toward $2250 for a 3-bedroom home. I think Carabasset Valley, they get like a flat rate of $3,000. That doesn't matter. It could be a 2-bedroom house, or it could be a McMansion over there at Sugarloaf or something. They just have a flat fee. So I think you probably want to try to bump that up and get something closer to what some of the other communities are doing. So there's a couple different scenarios there. We've got the base fee there at 180. These are all based on 3-bedroom homes. Went to 500, it'd be 1,500 for a 3-bedroom house, 750, and so on. There's a couple different options there to take a look at, and what we want to try to do. One of the things we kind of tied this into was, keeping a good balance in the reserve account. And I think current for this fiscal year was 100,000 that was going into the reserve account. And that was going to increase to 125 in the 24-25 fiscal year. And we wanted to try to maintain that level because we're drawing off some of the different projects like the skater improvements and the CCTV work that we want to do and that sort of stuff. Try to keep that going. Try to avoid any bonding capital there where you can. So, based on that scenario and that sort of thing, we ended up showing what your reserve account would end up looking like there over time. And then eventually, you may have to do some cleaning of the sludge out of the lagoon. So there's probably a big expense there at some point in time, whether or not you try to avoid bond. Potentially, we'll need a fairly decent balance there in the reserve account in order to do that. So depending on what you want to do, I think for the first step here, we want to try to get that lined up for next budget season coming up in. I get the wrong dates on.
We're running late. We're running late.
So put 24 in place of 23. Hey.
I think we all
But kind of working backwards from when the budget gets adopted there or takes effect in July. If you want to be in line for the town warrant in April, and maybe line up a couple public hearings before then to get consensus with the public and what you're planning to do. So probably aim for having the first one in February, and then maybe a follow-up in March, and try to get a final vote at that point in time to apply to the town warrant. So those are a couple different scenarios to consider. I guess it's up to you if you want to try to tackle it all at once, or if you want to try to do a step type approach, or do the rates first and then take a look at the connection fee, in the year 24, or it's totally up to you how you want to do it and what the feel for the feedback from the community and stuff might be.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about this. We don't need to make a decision right this minute. This is something we're working at, right?
correct.
Okay.
Right, yeah,
Public hearing in February.
Right.
But we wanna have our consensus here before we get to that point, what we all think is where we should be, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The sewer commission would make a recommendation to the board of selectmen with them follow this schedule here.
Well, do you mind,
24,
can I say
right.
something?
Go right ahead, go right ahead.
As far as
If anyone has any questions from that.
the rate increase scenarios, I really like the stepped increase, that's what the water district did, and it seemed to go over a little bit better, and we hadn't raised our rates in 11 years, so we did 11% one year and 15% the next, or something like that. So it just seemed to go over, not that anybody came to any of the meetings when we had meetings, but,
There was one, wasn't there, Rose?
oh, Rose came to one.
Yeah.
And she agreed, so.
When
I
was
think
the
that's what everybody would like to see, for the most part, would be a gradual at least.
Yeah.
Rather than taking it right on the chin at once. And you guys all have sewer bills. I think I'm the only one here who doesn't,
And
and you don't either, okay.
I used to.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And Joe, he's Peru.
Yeah, out of town.
But as it stands right now, as taxpayers, you guys are paying
Right,
for the sewer, so.
Right.
oh, right, right.
So you either pay for it there, or the people that are using it pay more of it, and less comes out of the taxes.
Right, yeah, because even if you're not on the sewer line, like, I still have to have my tank pumped and dumped and et cetera,
Yeah,
so.
that's more expensive now.
Right.
PFAS and all that, right?
Well, the PFAS.
Oh, it was just to sign up the one bill.
No, I mean, that's what the cost is.
Right,
You can't take the chance. of
and it
when
doesn't
they
sound
pick
like they're ever gonna go back, so. Let's see.
up. No, I like the stepped increase, it's gotta be done, it's going to be done, I just think it maybe hurt just a little bit less.
It brings us in line. Well, brings us in line at over, what, 3 years there? Yeah,
Essentially, right.
essentially
Yeah.
3 years, 3 fiscal years, if you will.
I think the other thing is the connection fees need to be hit.
Oh,
There's a lot of building going on and it's ridiculous.
Well, I honestly, to tell you the truth, I've always thought that that's just like kind of a joke, what we charge, because we charge nothing. Not for the amount of work and amount of,
It's not really the taxpayers to be hit too hard, you know what I mean? A lot of this building's from away.
future taxpayers.
Right.
Do we have plenty of capacity for new users?
We're doing really good with the plant. And as far as our septic sludge we just checked it all this fall and we're still under a foot. And we don't even have to
It'll
worry,
do.
even worry about cleaning until we hit 3 feet.
Right.
When was the last time it was clean?
Never.
Never.
Since
Oh,
inception.
I like that.
Was that
I like
20
that.
years?
96, 7,
Even longer.
96.
and
It's
96.
almost 96.
Almost 20 years, wow.
A little over 25.
But we're one of the only facilities that aerate 24/7. Which keeps our bugs active
Right.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, year round.
So, that's one more question, if you don't mind.
Yes.
The connection fees, is that something that has to be voted on, or is that something that we have the power to change in committee, or send to you, send to the board, or whatever?
I think it's a very good question. I think the way to handle it would be to make a recommendation to the board of selectmen.
Okay, but that doesn't have to go on the warrant or anything, is what I'm asking, I guess.
I don't believe so.
Okay, good.
I think for ordinance, you guys can do it, but it's always good to do any kind of rating, because with the board of selectmen's blessing.
I think we ought to talk about connection fees sooner as opposed to later.
Correct.
I see a lot of the buildings out there.
Many.
Has there been many new connections on the sewer system here in the last year or so?
Quite a few,
And applications,
like
ones that.
15 or 20 in the last year.
Is that,
Yeah, it's,
And then we've got a couple of bigger projects that we've been talking to. We spent an hour and a half on the phone the other day with the guy over here. Wanting to build that, whatever it is.
Potato lounge.
Potato lounge, I think he called it.
oh, yeah,
And then Eva D just came online, that's 7 new hookups.
what's that?
Eva D. Behind, right in front of the rehab, health center.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He just got all his sewer in, we went and looked and walked it Friday,
Now they just need to start building, right?
and it sounds like there's permits coming here in the next to near future. So I think that's 7 lots right there,
I just wish they had my water.
goes right by there.
Yeah, but my water's like they're gonna have like 20 pounds of pressure if they have
It's
all.
called a pressure tank.
Yeah. Well, I tried to get, anyway.
Yeah, so it's really just kind of information for you guys to consider and, you know, you can pick and choose, and if you wanna line up someplace with only 7% or whatever, I mean, that's completely up to you guys. but-
So, sorry if I'm gonna go for it, ask another question,
Go for
sorry.
it,
So, you're saying, average of whatever it is, 511 per person. So if when we get to, 613, what does that make the rate? Can you, is that broken down at all? Is it a $45 connect fee and then? Because it's an average, so it isn't that you can't really,
Basically, right
you know
now,
what I'm
750,
asking, what the
100.
usage
yes.
number is?
Well, currently you're at 45, flat rate of 45 per quarter, plus 750 per 100 cubic feet.
Yep.
So, we can back into that. And see what that.
Okay, I was just
that means
kind
to
of
be
curious
adjusted.
to see, because that's the number that the people are gonna see. That average thing
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
really, it doesn't tell us, because you have high users and you have people that don't use barely any.
Yeah, that's a good point out, yeah. Yeah, I can do some figuring and see what, see how that kind of, that calculates into that. those
It's
numbers.
just a
Yeah.
nice.
And that's right now, 511,
That's not
Five
the
eleven
average,
average though.
the average.
That's the average, so, yeah. A little difference between.
So you're bringing 4,400 cubic feet per year is the usage right now.
You have some high rated, yeah.
Well, no, but if you take the 511, you minus the
40.
180,
Yeah.
that's 45 a quarter.
Yeah.
And you divide that by 750, you come up with 44, so you figure 4,400 cubic feet per user in that average. It seems like a high number.
It does to me too.
Yeah.
But you have some place, but you're talking some of the like, the big users like the Rangeley Inn.
Yeah.
That's gonna change
Laundromat.
that number, yeah, so,
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. You got B that uses 1,200 cubic feet.
Right.
One time the wife take one shower a week, that's it.
Get in the pool.
She won't
I
listen.
never went over.
Yeah, I can crank a few numbers there and see what, see how those couple of items are fixed and get that back to you.
613, if you take it out the same way I did the other one and use the 4,400, come out with about 970. So go up $2.10,
Yeah. Okay.
100.
Does anyone else have any questions for Jeff while he's here? Nice to see that back calculate on the, I guess the quarterly fee. Versus the 8% across the board. I don't know if it breaks down any different. The quarterly fee goes up more percentage wise, and then just
Yeah.
100 CFS after that.
You think the connected fee is going up or?
Well, I don't, is it 8% across the board, all of them, so it's 45%, and then 8% onto the,
And
Cubic
it's actually the usage. I don't think you stopped and raising the quarterly fee, were you?
The flat rate,
yeah,
you may want to adjust that somewhat and kind of level out the two. Yeah, potentially.
It spreads it out a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right.
like $45. Get in $45.
No.
Any further questions from this board? So,
Okay.
unless you're calculating, back calculating.
Getting back to us by
I'll get some stuff back there next week or so, here, next couple weeks. Yeah. We have
Yeah,
that,
just break that
hopefully for
down.
your next meeting, and then, that'll give you plenty of time to get things lined up there for target in February to and settle in what the adjustment's gonna be.
Sounds good. Further discussion?
Sure.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, right, you guys,
Appreciate your time,
my pleasure, get up this way.
right?
Foliage was a little better last week.
All right.
Sorry. Got hammered over the weekend.
Thanks so much.
Minutes. Right, next item is review meeting minutes. Give everyone a minute, it's a straightforward meeting. Yeah, does everyone had time to look them over?
I'm good.
Al's ready.
I will make a motion to accept the minutes for September 12th, 2023 as written.
I'll second.
All those in favor? 5-0 in the meeting.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right. Yeah. No public to speak here. No purchase orders on the agenda. Application, here we go.
Total fee for this one would be $720.
So can we vote to adjust the fees before we sign this?
Yes. Well, actually, before you go any further, a rough calc there. I mean, as Ryan said, it's been 15 to 20 new sewer connections. If they average $2,000, then that would have been the $40,000 difference that we're lacking right now. On a rough calc.
Well, that $40,000 number, I think is low too.
Correct. And let's face it, a $3,000 permit is not gonna break the bank on $1 million construction project.
Right.
Well, we compare to a lot of the cities that are on that thing you had, the graph. We compare to them now. I mean, as far as vacation, you know, and the price of housing and stuff like that, so I don't feel like it's a burden to chop the pay out, honestly, my opinion.
No, well, let's, I'll talk about that in sewer connection compliance.
Okay, sorry.
Let's do that, right, before we get too lost in the weeds here. All right. All right, so we have two here from same corporation. Lot 17 on Allen Street. And then lot 25 Grandview Avenue, which one do I have in front of me now?
This site location, oh, 4th, big mark down.
Allen Street has this scribble out mark right here. John, do you have an original?
Yeah, I am. I even have new glasses still, drawing blank. Oh, here it is. Okay. So reviewing these, Ryan, have you I don't know, Ryan, do we have any, obviously we have plenty of capacity, we have stubs.
There's a sewer stub on Allen Street already. They put it in when they put the road in. M&H forethought that one.
It was their lot too.
Yeah.
Joe owns a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so then we'll deal with that. Ryan, is there any issue, do you foresee any issues here?
None.
I don't see any either. There is 4 bedrooms,
Yeah,
4
they're both-
baths,
Yeah, they're both duplexes.
both duplexes.
Allen Street is a duplex.
Duplex.
The other one is a.
3
But they
bedrooms,
both were.
4 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms per unit, so there's 4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms, 2 kitchens, 2 dishwashers, 2 washing machines.
I'm gonna make a motion to accept sewer connection application for Allen Street, map 36, lot 17. For 4 bedrooms, and it brings total what, 720? For $720.
I'll
Second.
Oh, go ahead.
Seconds it. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor? 5-0. Good one for that one. Grandview, is there a stub in place for Grandview? This is a
No.
mess.
I have a question.
So where's the nearest stub? I'm not well versed in that. Al probably is.
Well, I actually wanted to ask a question. Is that a private sewer?
Spring Road is.
Is that where they'll be connecting?
Well, the first 20 feet of Spring Road belongs to us.
Okay, so it'll be on,
It'll
okay,
be on our side of the Spring Road.
okay.
Because if not, he would have had to he wanted to go out the back of the building, but then he would have had to have M&H's permission to hook in, because that part, whoever owns that
Association,
subdivision, yeah. So he's gonna come right to just this side of the culvert.
Great.
And tie into what would be ours.
Nice.
So he's connecting to the town line,
Well, it's all town.
town line. Oh, it
It
is.
we
all
don't
goes
own it.
into the town, but
Right, it's
maintenance
private.
and.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So is there a fee to tie into that line since there's not a stub there? Or excuse me for me,
They pay for all the work.
they pay for all the work. Number of bedrooms, 2 to 3, so how do we rate this?
Charge it for 3.
Where-
They won't come back and pay for it if they add one after the fact.
True,
3.
Right.
So, I mean, it just makes sense to round it up.
3 at 180. Ryan, do we have any issues up there? Obviously, I think you just explained it, but
No,
no.
we went and walked over with Chris and M&H. M&H is subdivision anyway, I don't know how that works, but yeah, they're hooking it just there at the mouth of the road.
Is that the way it is on all sewer going into a project, you own first 20 feet
We own the first stop, yeah,
out of, okay.
to get you onto technically your property.
No, what I meant is going into any subdivision, do you own the first 20 feet into the subdivision on all of them, or is it just
Well, not
that?
necessarily,
Just
that
that.
one,
Okay.
because they're only 20 feet from our manhole.
Okay, I just didn't know, I was curious. Wasn't-
We own usually the first stub to get you to your property,
Okay, yeah,
get you out of the shoulder, and then everything in the road is ours.
same as the water district.
Yeah.
Is there any further discussion on Grandview Avenue? I'll make a motion to accept the application for Grandview Avenue, map 38, lot 25, for 3 bedrooms. The amount of 3 times 180.
540.
What's that? 540, thank you, $540.
Second. We're all just looking at each other.
Any further discussion? We're gonna go vote. All right, all those in favor? We have 5-0 on this. Progress. Ainsley. Tracy, are these the originals that I need to
I
sign?
have the originals right
You
here.
have- you know better than to give it to me. Thank you. All right, there are no abatements on the agenda. Yeah, and that leads us to Ryan with his Chick Hill update.
Just getting ready for winter. Finally got the fields closed, trying to get mowing done. We're ready to go for winter. Dale's got he tested his pumps the other day in the snow fields. We think we're ready to go. Now we just need cold weather. And for it to stop raining.
Well, it's gonna slow a little bit at least.
Well, no, our lagoons are just higher than they've ever been. I mean, Dale sprayed every day this summer. You can only spray so much.
Yeah, what, 15 inches of rain, 16 inches of rain?
Oh,
for the summer season?
25 plus.
25 plus.
Yeah, 3 months. That's not even this last month.
On a good note, my wells are nice and full.
That should be.
Some rain, all right. All right, that leads us to number 10, sewer connection compliance.
I did not get a hold of Rudy. I don't know if he's running that redemption center or not. I'll follow up with him.
Understood. He's the last of the outstanding list there. Let me press him. Pardon me, we just see what he's doing.
Yeah, I'll just find out what he's up to. I don't know if he's running there or if he's.
We should force him to retire.
Just doing it for the.
Something to do. Something to do. All right, so I guess that open up discussion on connection fees. That's, we already started that. Joe, do you have Jeff slide still? We can go back.
I can, or I've
You
got
got
it
it,
right
you
here.
got it right out on the draft.
He took his thumb drive with it.
He took his thumb drive with him. Leave us with photocopy drive.
Somewhere, I've got it.
Yeah, I did it there to Alex.
I printed it, so I couldn't read it on my phone.
Currently, the base fee is $180 per bedroom. So 3-bedroom homes, $540, if people remember. We went to $500 a bedroom, obviously the easy math, and that's $1,500. $750 a bedroom is $2,250. And 1,000 makes it 3,000, which is comparable to, I guess the average home is 3 bedrooms. To make it comparable to Carabasset Valley.
I can show you.
Schedule it there. Crazy it's turned into Winnipesaukee light around here.
It was still, that's going up.
Proposed, and we're still not even, we're still just, we're still under the average on
Is
this
that the right one?
graphic. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he's got it, he actually had it.
I
up
found
on
it
the
in my
website.
email.
There you go.
That's user rate.
That's
so.
user rate.
You were at the one, yeah. So we're still, I mean, honestly, with that number right there,
At 520, we're still below the average of, I would say, some comparable destination.
I think. Yeah. My opinion, 1,000 is.
Bedroom.
Yeah, I would agree with Al there, and that would bring us in line with Carabasset, Falmouth, Wells. We'd even beat out York. Look at that. I guess I'm a little ignorant on this. We would have to write that into the ordinance, so we just have to write an addendum to the
So
ordinance.
it's actually in the ordinance. The verbiage is in there that, and it was actually on your organizational meeting in July to remind you folks that this is something you visit annually. So annually you make the change. There's no written amount in the ordinance, so it's not an ordinance change. And it's a decision you folks make, and then we get it rubber stamped by the Board of Selectmen, and then it goes into effect.
What else's opinion here?
What percent?
Well, anyone else can talk about it here?
I think it's a hell of an idea.
Yeah.
We've said a $3,000 connection fee is not gonna break $1 million home. You know, everybody wants to come here and play, so.
Or $300,000 home. Honestly,
Right. It's a drop in the bucket.
It's I think it's too bad that we haven't looked at this in the past, but I think we definitely have an obligation to fix this.
How long have these connection fees been
As long
this
as
amount?
As long as I'm.
Yeah.
I think they were $90 some odd years ago, and then they got bumped up to 180.
Right,
I don't know.
it's been a long, long
I
time.
know we've been charging 180 for a long time.
I built my house in 2003 and I paid 180 a bedroom,
Wow,
so.
20 years
At
ago.
least 20 years.
20
is
years
good to
ago.
say.
Well, can we do this tonight? Is that what you think?
You guys would make a proposal since Tracy's got me on the list to attend the selectmen meeting next week.
I believe that was a request.
Don't call it
That would
city,
be a
that
good
means I
time to
gotta
have
go.
it actually brought in there.
I believe it says request on there, John,
It is
Oh,
a request.
not demand.
Yeah, the chairman of the select board would like to visit the chairman of all the boards and committees, just to hear what's going on. I think that's reasonable.
Well, I'll come in and generate revenue. Is there anything formal that needs to be submitted to the board there that we're coming in for that, or?
For a motion.
Well, I think
Motion?
motion, first off and foremost, would be,
And you might want to think about the timing of it too, Mr. Chairman, whether it be January 1st or immediately. Or probably January 1st gives a little bit of notice.
that can all be
Gives the
part of your
board some
motion.
time to.
Back city, it's gonna be October.
What do you think? What house is it? Jessica,
I mean, January 1's very. Yeah, I mean, that's the date to start anything on, really. Any further discussion on that? There were 1,000. Make a recommendation to the Board of Select, yes, we'll take one. Make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen to increase new construction connections to the Rangeley Sewer to $1,000 per bedroom.
second,
I guess that's my motion. Motion to suggest to the Board of Selectmen to increase connection fees to $1,000 per bedroom for Rangeley Sewer.
Starting,
January 1. It's only Joe watching. I'll second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor? 5-0 vote.
I guess I probably should have said that I hope the board doesn't think that that's too big a jump, but you're gonna be there to let them know that it hasn't changed in 20 years.
I got quoted at the hatchery for a new construction of a 40 by 20 duplex at the hatchery. I threw it out there and it was $1 million. That was a contractor and materials. That's standard. That's 40 by 20. It's not even that big. I mean, it's big. But I mean, could be 6 bedrooms or it could be trophy home. They're at, so if it's 6 bedrooms, that's $6,000 on $1 million. Which is,
it's that expensive to build a lot of.
if that breaks the bank, we shouldn't be building $1 million home.
I just think that when you go to that meeting, if you can kind of, I know they're gonna understand, because they see more of this than we do. So.
And
Anyways.
I think everyone understands that right now our sewer department's upside down. So just trying to make it right.
And it's all justified, it's all justified right in this report, the people that do the same kind of thing we do, we're a tourist town, I mean, so.
Yeah.
So like we're gouging, I think we're just being consistent, honestly.
Something that should have been done a while ago,
Yep.
a long while.
It should have been jumping a little bit. every
Right.
year. That's,
Yeah.
I guess that's on us.
Or every 5 years at least.
Right.
Anyways,
All right,
I know I should have said.
Send me the
any other
wolves.
comments, but.
that's all right. Then we're back to skater interview schedule, which I emailed. I tried using the widget.
Are you on board with attending the meeting on next Monday, the 16th, around 6 p.m.?
Monday the 16th, 6 P.M.
I'll stick you on your agenda if you are.
Don't say no, because I'm not going in the place. Come on, I'm going in your stead.
I don't, I think the answer is yes. Hold on, I'm not that busy. I just look like I'm busy right now. Just make sure. That calendar. Nothing in that one. There is nothing on there, Tracy.
Can you put that in there?
There is now.
Yes, she asked several months ago, and I haven't gotten around to bugging any of the chairman yet, so you'll be the first one.
Better than the last.
True.
I can do that.
Yes. Show up there, back you up.
I put it in. This one's easier. But that, they're at 5 PM as well.
6,
6.
and you'll be,
Banker.
they'll get to you fairly quickly, so you don't have to sit around for them.
Unless you want to.
We can put you last at the agenda if you choose.
There you go.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah, we'll do that. And, oh, skater interview.
I bump in real quick for a second. Dale wanted me to discuss something that we brought it to Joe's attention too. We had a telemetry issue a couple of weeks ago where we lost our ability to communicate with our plant and the facilities. Guy came up and fixed it. We met with all these SCADA guys and discussed it, and none of them wanted to deal with telemetry as far as they all wanted to go the cellular route with communications. Well, then, when we had the telemetry issue, the telemetry guy came in and, he actually went through the whole telemetry, and it's easy for him to upgrade it to the analog system that they want to use for their SCADA systems. But we've already entered the bid process with these SCADA systems. But the telemetry, once you have it, there's no fee for it. You know, we bought the channel, we own it. With these SCADA systems, it'd be $100 a month fee for data through the cell phone routers, which then you're relying on cell phone towers instead of radio waves. So the guy can upgrade our system for about 50 grand to where it can do what they want it to do for their programs. But like Joe and I, when we talked that day, we're already in the bid process. So he didn't know how that would work as far as going forward with the bids, because they've already quoted SCADA. And it quoted their cellular. But when you look in their bids, if you add up their cellular, what they're charging to hook up to cellular, it's about the same money as it would be to update the whole telemetry system. They're about 4,800 a pump station. And the guy quoted us 50 grand for everything. I mean, apples and oranges.
So does upgrading the telemetry system get everything that you need on the SCADA system?
No, that just gets us our communication ability.
That's just a part of it.
And it updates the Verbatim, which is the initial alarm system, which they're gonna use anyway. And it gives us the ability to communicate between the plants and each pump station individually through radios. So, because ours is antiquated anyway.
Right.
Basically what happened was we lost a crystal and a radio. They wear out over years. And they're 26 years old now. So we're gonna have more problems going down the road, but we were gonna keep the telemetry anyway as a backup
Understood.
to the SCADA system.
So then, to upgrade the telemetry system, we're kind of into it, just another budget item?
Well, that's the thing Joe and I were discussing, and we didn't really know how that worked, because if we're gonna need to keep the telemetry, we're gonna have to upgrade it.
Correct.
That's a no-brainer. That's our backup redundancy, so that doesn't fail. You know what I mean? So we wanna keep that no matter what. But if we can get them to use the same system, we can save $90 a month for the rest of our lives on data plan. Plus, in each one of these bids, I can't even remember what some of these are, but they were like, this one's $3,000 a pump station, this one's
Yeah, it's kind of,
like 4,000 or 5,000, you know what I mean? So you take those numbers off their initial bids. Because instead of using cellular, we'd be using telemetry instead. Because right now, the problem is we don't have the ability to send the kind of information they want to send to the SCADA system.
Mhm.
But by upgrading this, we'll be putting in new PLCs that now will be able to send the information they won't. we need.
Digitized information. to that.
Yes.
So they have- they can-
Because we're analog right now, yeah.
So I,
So these- yeah,
if I could interject, I think when we do our interviews, this is something that we want to
I just wanted to
discuss.
know,
Yeah,
yeah.
we want to make sure that we discuss this with each person that we interview and say, yeah, there's a slight modification possibly. How would you handle it? We can ask that question ahead of time too, so that we have time to respond. to that.
In a broad stroke, I'm all for it, right? There's a backup to it. There's a kind of an analog or older way that does it that doesn't seem to break down or. Just as here as a board, we're here, is it tacked onto the SCADA system? Obviously, it pays for itself over time, so it becomes a net zero, if you will, more or less. So.
But it could actually, as long as they could work with it, which they should be able to with the upgraded PLCs and the telemetry, it would eliminate a cost going forward as far as having to pay for cellular data each month.
No, understood.
question.
But
Is there a better breakdown than this page?
no,
Okay, so this
each
is,
one has
it's
their
like
own.
AEC, it's 11,328 on all 5, 6 of the columns. It's like,
That's what he did
they
was
just
figure
divided
out,
it.
yeah.
So
Divided
there's
it
no
out.
break, I'm just because I went through these a little bit, I didn't know if there was a better breakdown. And then,
That's someone who didn't bid.
that's one of the bid, that's one of the bids, one of the 3 bids. I printed them because.
Yeah, that was actually about 5.
There's 5 or
You only
so.
kept
five.
3?
One of them was.
There's like
total-
3 that are tight. and then
One was
there's
Right,
2 that are-
one was total replacement, which is your dream system for, well, almost $500,000, I think it was. And the other one was like half the money of everybody else, but it was like
I
the
see.
cheesy cookie cutter
Yeah,
nightmare system,
patched in,
yeah.
designed by committee.
And all 3 of these guys were a few thousand each other, eh, Joe?
No,
Or
no,
pretty close,
absolutely
right?
not. 451.
No, that's the dream one, that's
Well,
the
that's
big
the
one.
3 that was sent out. That's the 3 that was sent out.
Should have IC, AEC. AEC is the guy who built our original plan.
I see,
IC.
I like that number.
Wow.
From IC,
Yeah.
186, 40, 430.
Yeah.
And then you have, what's the other one?
Barrett,
And there,
230 something.
yeah.
Right.
Anyways, I just, that's a wide range. You can, this is all.
I'll take copies of all of this stuff to you. It's gonna be after the Xerox starts working.
Well, that's why I printed it, if anybody wants to.
Make a motion to fix the 0.
Trust me, I made a lot of motions today.
There's a lot of flour in there, it's just recommendations on the bid sheet.
I read them all over,
Right, and AEC was who built our system originally,
They-
so he took our schematics for what we have.
Yep.
And he built entire new controls for each pump station. New cabinets, new PLCs, new controls, new everything, so everything would be brand new.
That's great,
That's where the
yeah, that's,
453,140.
so, and the last one, the IC, he said, I'm not gonna rebuild the cabinets, I'm just gonna add breakers to it, and I don't see any problem with that, if they work, why?
Both Barrett and INC met with us for the better part of the day, and both of them intend on using what we have. Adding the PLC screens and getting rid of the internal, because right now you have to open the cabinet, and you got all these switches and lights and push buttons, that's all gonna go away. All we're gonna have is a hand on and off and the controls there, they're gonna put in fire. Cause right now, we don't know if there's a fire there or what, it just tells us there's an alarm,
Or
fire,
sensors.
all that. And I believe Barrett had flow meters at all 3 pump stations, 4. We have 2 now, but he was gonna add 2 to those others, which was quite a cost.
So, I guess this is a question for Joe, so. Can we, I guess we'll talk about it now, but when we sit down interviewing these guys. Right before that, can we sit down and get some questions together?
I think that would be a good idea.
Just because he knows a lot more about what that system is. I know SCADA, he knows SCADA,
Right.
but we don't know it on that scale.
Try to get those questions together beforehand, and maybe even get these guys a few questions so that they're prepared.
Yeah, it's fair to give them a week or
No,
so.
come on.
You can have it 1 or 2 singers there.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, if we can schedule 2, maybe 3 meetings, one where it's all of us talking about questions, or maybe we can accomplish that by email, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I would plan on a couple of meetings with the actual candidates, and if you don't use them both for interviews, you can use one to debrief, because the end result will be a debrief, and then bring it back to you folks, the whole board, the whole commission, and then ultimately goes to the select board for selection.
What do we?
So the first question that goes right back to what Dale and Ryan were suggesting though is upgrading that telemetry for 50 grand. Does that change or can they work with it, et cetera?
Well, they
I guess that goes back up.
It's
to-
one of 2 questions. Our system right now is antiquated, it deals analog,
Mhm.
old school. But it needs to be upgraded. I mean, we've already had 1 radio down this year, the next one could be next week, then the week after. So if you take the step to update that system now, if they can work with it, then we should update it because we can update it cheaper, just to update the radios and what we have, than we can to update so that it'll do the SCADA. That number was for it to do SCADA.
Right.
To be able to
To be able
communicate.
to mesh with
Right.
new SCADA systems.
Right.
Alright.
So that would be a question if they're willing to work with that or be able to do that. Then
Yeah,
that
that
would
would
make
go
a
out
decision on whether or not we would go forward with the large scale telemetry upgrade or just our necessities.
No, that changes the bid package though.
That's what
They're gonna be able-
Joe and I were talking about.
They're gonna have to agree to it, which I can't see them not, but.
It's easier for them, they all just said, "Simon, that's how we wanna do it," cause there's only 2 guys in this state that can work on the telemetry. Motorola has some, whatever, I can't remember what you word it, but only 2 people in the state can work on these telemetry systems. They have a license from Motorola to do it. Which is why these guys didn't really wanna work with that situation, because they were limited to who they could hire and what they could deal with. But we need to upgrade it to a point to maintain what we have. It's just whether or not we go full out or not.
And you're right about the cellular thing, that's what all the people that are doing this stuff, the SCADA stuff, they're pushing that. They tried to push us out at the pump station, but we've got no cellular coverage out there, so
Right.
we had to go with.
And the telemetry, we've already got the antennas installed, we've already bought the radio channels, we own them.
Yep.
And it's no cost to us. The cellular would add a $90 a month bill to the,
Is that 90 per pump station or
no,
90?
90 for the whole package. And it may be more than that depending on how much we have to use,
So here's
that's for the base.
if the telemetry goes away and you get a brand new SCADA system. Does the SCADA system do everything the telemetry does?
Yes, basically. But then you're relying on cell phones. Like the telemetry has battery backups, even if the power's out, that thing talks and tells you what's going on in those pump stations. If you lose a cell phone tower, then you have no communication with your power, with your system. Telemetry is standalone, battery powered,
No, I'm aware, we used to have radios at the hatchery. And they all died, and it's replaced it all.
Yeah.
And there's a learning curve to that. Do these bids here cover everything that the telemetry would do?
No. It would be our basic alarms and we'd have interface with the panels, if that's what you're asking. All the telemetry is an alarm system. A basic generic alarm system. So yes, I guess it would cover everything the telemetry would do.
It's just a different vehicle.
Right. And an added cost we have to accept going forward. The basic package was like $90 a month. Could be $180 a month, depending on the data transfer and how much we use.
Well, I guess we've got questions.
Right, it's good information, big questions.
Do you want me to, so really what I'm looking to do is try and find out what you guys' availability is, so I can kind of match all the up to get you in the same room to address all your questions, get ready for interviews. I actually thought we would schedule interviews, but I think we need a pre-meeting.
Yeah.
Beforehand to have all the questions. So do you guys have, you tried to set up, what was it called? Electronics.
Doodle.
And
Doodle?
that we didn't have any luck with that, so if you guys can email me a few dates, or if you know right now what you have for availability, I'll try and get one of you guys and us in a room that we can,
A lot of availability. From the 24th through the 1st, I will not be available. I'll be in San Antonio.
What? You don't get to
Vacation.
go on vacation.
It's warm down there. Never been there. Figured, let's go.
is that November 24th?
No,
October?
October, end of this month.
What did I respond to the email? That was a
I
good
think
date.
the date came and passed.
No, I think it was November 1st.
Oh, was it
November 1st.
I was gonna say.
Yep.
So,
I tried using the widget and then it-
November 1st, so.
Produced strange things on my computer, so I backed out of there in a hurry.
So do you want me to try and set something up prior to you leaving now, or do you want to do it
That's
after?
fine. with me.
Oh, yeah, yeah. What was your date?
I'm-
24th the first.
Yeah, I'm leaving the evening of the 24th. I'll be here during the day, I think, of the 24th, but then I'll be.
Yeah, you don't wanna do that, David,
And I
you're
will-
leaving.
What's that?
You don't wanna
No,
do that, David.
not really.
So it'd be next week?
Next week is the soonest, yeah, it's,
No, 24th in 2 weeks.
no, but I mean,
He's
next
leaving.
week is a free week.
Got it.
I don't have,
17, I have DP inspection. Oof. How long do we anticipate these?
Probably an hour piece. Yes. Yeah, like the whole sewer crew would be there too. In fact, they'll probably do it at their place.
Then we can show you some stuff.
I could probably do the 20th, looking at that now.
So. What time do you? Right after you get off from work? 5 o'clock too early, 5 o'clock too late?
how long is this, how long is?
20th is a Friday.
20th is Friday.
Oh, you want to do it during the day?
I thought they were during the day, that's why I said the 20th there. Al?
No, 20, I can, yeah, I don't have anything on my schedule for the 20th, so, yeah.
Afternoon of the 20th, after lunch?
Let's shoot for 1 PM.
Oh, no, hold on. Nope. No 20th. Sorry.
What the heck? And how long is the meeting? How long do you think?
Like an hour.
Oh, okay, I thought you said an hour apiece.
No, I could do
You want
this.
to-
This is the initial meeting where
Initial meeting? Oh, initially, then,
where we're gonna sit down and talk and figure out what our questions
Questions
are,
are.
and then.
okay, yeah. We'll look good for you. How old is it, 19th? I'm not sure. If I have to be a last minute. Sorry about 20th, that is youth day.
First day of fun season, yeah, Friday and Saturday this year.
So we're looking at
We'll be doing that.
Yeah.
1 p.m.
Sure. Come here, get my time looked up.
We'll meet right at Chick-fil-A. Sound right?
Yeah, at Chico. If any of you guys are available.
Mom, you know where it is?
Probably can do it in your sleep, muscle memory, can't you?
Had. to, that's easy.
Really goes right, John, you'll be done by the 1 p.m. on the 20th.
We'll see, we'll see. We're not, there's no more Grandview Avenue shootouts anymore. We'll see. Good trail camera out this weekend, see what's up. All right, is there any further discussion there? No, all right, so next regularly scheduled sewer commission meeting is November 14th. And the next board of select meeting is next Monday, October 16th. Anything else, people? I'll make a motion to adjourn here at 6:05. Holy smokes, one of our longest meetings forever.
Yeah.
Motion for dinner. Tom seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
2 seconds.
Tom.
Tom did.
All right.